Sorry.
All right, so let's get to know a little bit about how long you guys have been doing Apex and a little bit of the backstory of you guys as players. So, which season did you start playing Apex?
The
Well,
first
for
one?
me, it was the start of Apex, pretty much day one, playing since then. So yeah.
Yeah, I think I started about 2 weeks, 3 weeks after the game came out. Because at first I was like, no, this game's gonna be stupid, I don't want to play it. That's that I kind of just got addicted, I guess.
Yeah, no, same for me. I think I started playing Apex like 2 days after it got released because nobody knew the game was going to get released. It kind of just got dropped on everyone. So everyone was like, oh, a new game. Might as well try it since everyone was still in like the PUBG phase and whatnot. So everyone was keen to try something new.
Yeah, Respawn was very sneaky with how they released Apex. They said nothing. There was no advertisement. There was nothing. They just decided, oh, here, have a game. Enjoy.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy actually.
So what game did you guys originally come from then? Since Apex Legends is quite a new game, I'm sure you guys are cracked at the game, so you all have to be like hardcore gamers before you started playing. JP, you could start.
Well, okay. Before I get flamed for this, like, I played
here we go.
Counter-Strike before. I played Counter-Strike competitively before, okay? I did DGL for a little bit, but I couldn't ever really commit to it because teams and stuff I played in, like, never really stayed long enough. Because we were all still in school and whatnot. But then, this is where I'm gonna get hate. I started playing Fortnite. Fortnite was great at the beginning, but yeah, I played that then for, I don't know, 10 seasons for when the game, yeah, in the first chapter or something, I had 10 seasons. That's for how long I played the comp scene at least. But then eventually when Apex came out, I was just like, you know, I'm a bit tired of the game. I'm ready for a new thing. Might as well try this and see where it goes. And, well, Apex started popping off and stuck with it.
Sure. I think the first game I started playing was competitively was Call of Duty Black Ops back then, and then 3 years later Overwatch came out, and I started to play for a team. Forgot the name of the team, but I used to play a lot of Widowmaker for the team, and then after that I moved to PUBG, and then
Oh.
Apex came out of nowhere, and I was like, I really like this game. Let me play it. It's faster, fun, and it's new. So I left Energy Esports and joined that.
No, I didn't. Honestly, I didn't really ever play any competitive games until Apex. Like, I played loads of shooter games. I played CS. I think I have like 2 hours and done. But I didn't really play any comp games, and I just played Apex, and I was like, yeah, I'm pretty good at this game. Let me try and play some of the kill races. And then I ended up winning most of those, and I was like, yeah, I guess I'll just keep playing Apex. And then ATK happened, and I joined with us. That's pretty much it.
It's funny how, like, you know, all of these similar games actually start your journey into Apex. I mean, PUBG and Overwatch, for example, I feel like that's quite a nice mesh of Apex. Quite a nice description of it. A lot of the Overwatch players actually jump over to Apex from what I can see. I think it's because you guys are so used to the chaos. Just the absolute chaos. Alright. Next question from my side. So, what are your personal favorite guns? Like, if the RNG gods are just absolutely loving you, what is your ideal loadout to be running?
Ooh, for me personally, it would be Carbine and Mastiff, most definitely. But yeah, usually just because I play a more aggressive role and stuff. So I want something with like a medium to close range, or long range to medium range, and then close range, so I can cover all aspects of it.
Alright.
Oh, for me, I have a lot of weapons. Like, I don't mind which one. So my normally pick will be Wingman, but recently the Flatline has been one of the best guns for me. Flatline Spitfire. And then secondary is always a Mastiff or a Sniper.
It depends on what character I'm playing, really. But since I've been playing Gibraltar a lot recently, it's like more supportive. I've been trying to use 301 because it's good medium range, good long range. Otherwise, maybe a Scout is also really good if I can get some picks from far away. And then you always have to have a shotgun. Like, you can't not have a Mastiff on the Gibby.
I love the Mastiff, man. I love the Mastiff. It's a good one.
No, you need it for those dome fights, bro. You can't win without it.
Okay, so obviously here in the African Throwdown, we've had a contrast of styles, the different metas in Group A, B, and C. In Group A, it wasn't as prevalent, but in Group B and especially in Group C, we saw a lot of this Octane-Revenant combo. It's a bit of a cheese combo. What do you guys think about the way the meta shaped with this combo in particular so far?
So yeah, it is a cheesy combo because it is really strong, and that's why people frown upon it, because it's like, well, this team has a second life to come back and kill a team after they do enough damage. Basically, it's just like there's no downside of doing like a push that you wouldn't normally do, because that push would have normally gotten you killed. So you can just like without zero conscious or zero thought, just jump on a team, kill them, come back, finish them, or get out type of thing, right? So that's why people hate it, and it's only as strong because it's used in as the combo Rev and Octane. Like individually, they aren't as good. Octane is a bit better because you can use them for rotations and whatnot. Revenant, on the other hand, not as good individually. That's why you don't see him just in a different composition. Like you always see Rev Octane, you don't see anything else. So, but I mean, we've even used it in comp before. Like it might not be the most appealing thing to people, but the thing is, it brings results. It is strong. You can't blame you need to blame the game for it, really,
Yeah, exactly.
not the people.
No, I agree with what he says. Like, I think it's kind of stupid and like it is kind of scummy to use it, I guess, in a way. But it's not our fault it's broken, you know. Like it's not our fault it's meta. Like if it makes us win, we're gonna do it. So like,
Right. So on the flip side of it, I saw, I think in group match 3 or maybe it was match 2 on in the first day of the semifinals when Elite Gaming were up against DNMK. They Elite Gaming really liked that combo with the Octane plus the Revenant, and they were playing quite aggressive with it. But DNMK made a very nice rotation around them, and they waited for them. They third partied the totem, not the fight itself. And the minute everybody came back, they just sweep them like that. So that was a funny thing I saw. But in general, do you guys think, because in the overall pro meta, there are some teams who use it and stuff, but it feels like there are some weaknesses to the Octane-Revenant combo, because like you say, a hero like Revenant, he's only good with that combo and doesn't really provide a utility of a hero like Gib or something. So what are some of the downsides of meta that is evolved in African Throwdown with the Octane plus Revenant?
No, exactly what you said. Like the issue of Rev Octane at least is like you still need to put in thought with your pushes. Like obviously you can't just run in the open and totem and expect everything's gonna go well, because people are gonna know as soon as you pop the totem and use it, you're gonna come back at some point if you don't survive on the other side. So it's free kills for them. So the thing with Rev Octane teams, they always need to like preferably play on edge somewhere or something, so at least they know when they do pushes, they are completely safe from people pushing the totem, or someone needs to stay behind. That I've also seen in like teams like Alliance and whatnot. They have one person sometimes staying behind, just looking at the totem before they all go in again and whatnot.
Sorted. I think it's a good one. And actually, on that note, when you're talking about tips and tricks, do you have any tips and tricks for casual players looking to up the game? I mean, you guys can all answer this from your own perspectives, but what are some of the points that casual players actually need to focus on first to get good?
That can vary. Like, I mean, I guess the thing most people struggle with nowadays is actually just, it comes down to settings that I've actually seen. People struggle like finding their ideal sensitivities, like ideal keybinds and whatnot, because people always tend to like try and copy a pro player, copy this person's settings, copy whoever is doing well now, like to try and like just to be as good. But people need to understand like they need to find things that work for them so they can use that to grow themselves a lot better, because it's hard to adjust to other people's things. But yeah, settings is definitely a big thing that I think people just need to find out what works for them. Otherwise, it's just like rotational knowledge as well. I've seen a lot of new players, that's the biggest thing they struggle with, just like knowing when is the right fight to take, when is it actually a good time to just run away. You're like, you don't have to commit. It's a shooting game. You don't have to shoot constantly. You can walk away if you want to. So that's also a thing I've tried helping people with as well, just like making them understand, like, okay, well, just analyze the situation before fully committing on it. Like, think about the ins and outs about it.
people could definitely do is maybe just play the game, you know, like play pubs and just keep putting hours into the game and getting your aim in, your movement in. Watch some videos, I guess, on how to do some of the cool movement tricks and stuff. And then just playing around your team, of course.
Makes sense.
Like team play is a very big part of the game, I think, especially at the highest level. Like it's not about whose aim is the best or anything, it's about how you play together.
I think number one reason to improve is to be comfortable. If you're not comfortable, you will never get better. As Chambi said with settings, do what you prefer, not what other people prefer. And also don't be scared of ranked. Like end of the week, say you want to get to plat, so push to plat. If you can't get to plat, just keep pushing. Like don't be scared of it. That's one way you're gonna get better at the game. Just it goes for yourself.
All right. All right. So this is a bit of a, I don't know if it's a spicy one or not. And I think maybe for the people in the Apex community, they'll understand this better than, maybe the outsiders tuning into the streams and not so clued up on Apex, the casuals rather than the pros. But in the GLL recently, and actually in the African Throwdown as well, it seems guys really love the crash light landing spot, and DNMK do as well. And you guys often contested each other at that spot. So how do you guys sort of, as pros, going into these events, like approach this mentally when you and another really good team are landing at the same spot? Do you back yourselves to take that fight, or is it a case of like when you decide to back yourselves and take the fight, or like, okay, maybe we should just go and land in a safer place? What is your guys' mentality around this?
So usually when it comes to that, like obviously what people prefer most of the time is like when you have drop spot, obviously you want to be uncontested, right? Everyone wants a fair chance of playing like surviving early game to play for late game. So nobody is like caught off guard with not having guns and whatnot, and they just get taken out the game instantly. But obviously, like sometimes what happened over the weekend and in other 20s as well, like people do get contested, but then you just have a different game plan. Like that's why people have contested drops and uncontested drops. Like they just play it differently when there are other people present in their spot. So it's just like people just need to calm themselves, I suppose. Just like analyze the situation carefully so they don't like potentially just like ruin their game instantly, get out, because you don't want dud games. That's like the worst thing you want in comp. You always want to make every game worth it.
Chamby, specifically for you, you mad lad of an Octane. There was a moment in the semi-finals where you were 1v6 teams, and you were an Octane, alone and afraid, the only member of ATK. What was the thought process there? I mean, you're alone, you're the only Octane, you're flying around everybody, still going for fights. What happened? You ended up getting a top 3 placement there for your team. Very close one as well. I think you just missed the battery pop off, and then that last bullet came through. What went through your head there?
Honestly, I wish I had an actual concrete answer. In my mind, I just run. Run and see what happens. Because a lot of the times when I was rotating, I was like, okay, well, there's a team shooting at me. I guess just change position. That house might be open. Run to the house. Oh, wait, there's a whole team in the house. Get out of the house. So it was just like, take every moment as it goes. Like, I had no plan of what was going to happen.
I wish we had like an outside perspective of you, because I was watching you on the map and all I saw was, okay, he was here, then he was there, then he was there, then he was on that side, then he jumped over them. And why so that's, if you're in that situation, if you were playing against Chamby in that situation, you just have an Octane player somewhere randomly, what would your focuses be as a team? Like, do you just ignore this player? Do you just focus on surviving the rest of the teams? Because obviously, it's a rat versus, the 5 other teams that you're busy fighting. And a lot of the teams actually lost to Chamby rotating through and getting shot. So as a team there, what would the calls be? What would your reactions be to that situation?
For me, it'll be personally like, if I know it's a rat, I'll say focus it, because you can get, I don't know, weapons, armor, healing, resources, pretty much. And you guarantee the placement as well.
Yeah,
That's my answer.
I agree. I mean, I think it just depends on, like, can you take out the rat easily without, dying from the other teams, or, like, if it's safe, then do it, of course, because it gets you placement and a kill point and potentially more loot, as Dust said.
So, Jamie, it's a good thing you weren't playing against your teammates there, hey?
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah. Now, to add to that as well, like, none of that, all right, though. Like, usually you should focus a rat, because usually it's just like, well, it's a guaranteed placement for you and other people. Like, just get them out, whatever. If you can get the loot, awesome. If you can't, it's fine. It's just extra KP, extra placement.
All right. So, I'm an old man in the esports scene in South Africa standards. Been around for a while, and I have a question for all of you guys. I'll start off with Chamby, because you're the guy I speak to the most. All right.
Okay.
You guys are very good at your game. Like, people who don't know Apex Legends or esports South Africa, these guys are pros. Like, legitimately, they're beating EU teams, so they're the real deal. But y'all are really nice, like super humble. Chamby always make time to chat to me and many members of the community and stuff. How do you guys manage to keep grounded, even when, the gamer norm when you're good at games is to be, maybe just because I come from Dora, quite toxic?
Yeah, I guess it comes down to the way we are. Like, obviously, we came into esports, like, not really, well, at least for me, at least, I didn't have, like, people really, like, chanting me on or stuff, anything. Like, I came in pretty, like, lonesome, and eventually, like, stuff happened over time, and seeing, like, people support you as much as they do and they want to see you succeed. Like it means a lot to us. Like we wouldn't be here today or have the motivation to do what we do if it wasn't for them. So it's like obviously we want to put as much time aside to actually thank people and tell them we really appreciate what you do for us, because we do want to succeed in this and we want to make them proud.
And then other than that, thank you again. Really appreciate
All right,
it.
no, thank you guys. Really
All
appreciate
right, thank you
it.
so much.
Awesome. Have a good one, hey?
We'll see you guys.
Yeah, have a nice
Enjoy.
night, guys.
Cheers,
Bye
cheers.
bye.
Next one, boys.
Bye.
Cheers.